Dinosaurs still living on Earth. The very idea reshapes every cornerstone of our modern world, transforming not just landscapes, but the fundamental nature of human existence, science, and the delicate balance of life itself. It's a scenario that pulls us from our comfortable anthropocentric view and thrusts us into an ecosystem far grander, far more dangerous, and undeniably more magnificent than anything we currently know. Our planet, as we understand it, would be unrecognizable, demanding an entirely new framework for survival, development, and coexistence. First, consider the immediate ecological ramifications. The reintroduction of apex predators like Tyrannosaurus rex or Giganotosaurus would instantly dismantle existing food webs. Lions, tigers, bears, even elephants, these would become secondary prey or perhaps simply competitors for resources, finding themselves outclassed in sheer size, power, and often predatory prowess. Herbivores like sauropods, enormous, long-necked creatures such as Brachiosaurus, would require an unimaginable amount of vegetation. Forests and vast plains would be stripped bare at an alarming rate, forcing migrations and potentially creating barren zones if not managed carefully. The sheer biomass of these creatures would be a constant drain on primary producers, drastically altering global vegetation patterns and possibly even contributing to localized climate shifts as dense forests are replaced by more open, grazed lands. Smaller dinosaurs, like packs of velociraptors or larger dromaeosaurs, would also pose a significant threat to smaller mammals, livestock, and even unwary humans in certain environments, introducing a new level of omnipresent danger that humanity hasn't faced in millions of years. The geographic distribution of these immense creatures would largely depend on current climate zones and available resources. We might see sauropods dominating temperate and tropical forests, while large carnivores would stalk any area with abundant prey, including urban fringes. Mountain ranges, deserts, and polar regions might offer some natural barriers, but many species were incredibly adaptable. Humanity would be forced to retreat from vast swaths of land, ceding territory to these ancient titans. The geographic distribution of these immense creatures would largely depend on current climate zones and available resources. We might see sauropods dominating temperate and tropical forests, while large carnivores would stalk any area with abundant prey, including urban fringes. Mountain ranges, deserts, and polar regions might offer some natural barriers, but many species were incredibly adaptable. Humanity would be forced to retreat from vast swaths of land, ceding territory to these ancient titans. National parks and wilderness areas, once sanctuaries for modern wildlife, would become the primary domains of dinosaurs, potentially transforming into highly dangerous, heavily monitored zones where human entry is strictly regulated or outright forbidden. Coastal regions, particularly those with rich marine life, could become hunting grounds for aquatic or semi-aquatic dinosaurs, further impacting human activities like fishing and shipping. Our infrastructure, built for a world without such colossal inhabitants, would be woefully inadequate. Roads and bridges would need to be reinforced or redesigned to withstand the passage of animals weighing dozens of tons. Power lines would become vulnerable, and entire cities would require defensive perimeters, perhaps enormous walls or electrified fences, to protect against accidental or intentional incursions. The very concept of urban planning would shift from maximizing human density to creating defensible, self-sustaining communities. Agriculture would face immense challenges. How do you protect vast fields of crops from a hungry herd of triceratops? Traditional farming methods would be impossible in many regions, pushing humanity towards vertical farms, hydroponics, or highly fortified agricultural zones, perhaps even underground facilities, to ensure food security. The global economy, currently reliant on complex supply chains and easy transportation, would be utterly disrupted, forcing localized production and resource management. Humanity's response would be a complex blend of fear, scientific fascination, and an urgent need for adaptation. Initially, there would be chaos and devastation, especially in areas where dinosaurs suddenly appeared. Governments would quickly allocate immense resources to understanding, tracking, and, where necessary, containing or defending against these animals. New branches of military and scientific research would emerge. Imagine specialized anti-dinosaur task forces, utilizing advanced aerial surveillance, tranquilizer darts the size of small spears, and perhaps even non-lethal sonic deterrents. Weaponry would need to evolve significantly. While firearms might be effective against smaller or medium-sized dinosaurs, taking down a fully grown Tyrannosaurus would require something far more potent than what's commonly available today, perhaps railguns or advanced missile systems. The very nature of warfare might shift, with nations potentially collaborating against a common biological threat rather than engaging in traditional conflicts. Economically, the presence of dinosaurs would create entirely new industries while crippling others. Dinosaur tourism, carefully managed and highly dangerous, would become a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Scientific research into dinosaur biology, behavior, and genetics would attract massive funding. A black market for dinosaur parts, eggs, or even live specimens would undoubtedly emerge, leading to unprecedented conservation challenges and ethical dilemmas. The pharmaceutical industry might discover new compounds and medical breakthroughs from studying their unique physiology and resilience. On the other hand, traditional agriculture, livestock farming, and even large-scale forestry would suffer massive losses, requiring significant government subsidies or complete overhauls. Real estate values in dinosaur-prone regions would plummet, while fortified urban centers would see property values skyrocket. Scientifically, this scenario would be an unparalleled goldmine. Paleontology would transition from studying fossils to observing living specimens, revealing details about their physiology, social structures, mating rituals, and vocalizations that could only hypothesized before. Biologists would gain direct insight into dinosaur metabolism, respiration, and thermoregulation, finally resolving long-standing debates about whether they were warm-blooded or cold-blooded. Geneticists would have access to living dinosaur DNA, opening up possibilities for understanding ancient evolutionary pathways and, perhaps, for unprecedented medical advancements. The study of coevolution between dinosaurs and their environment would provide invaluable data for understanding planetary ecology on a macro scale. This influx of living data would rewrite entire textbooks and fundamentally alter our understanding of Earth's biological history. Culturally and psychologically, the impact would be profound. Dinosaurs would permeate every aspect of human life. They would become central figures in art, literature, film, and folklore, reflecting both our awe and our terror. Humanity's perception of its place in the world would drastically change. We, the dominant species for millennia, would suddenly find ourselves sharing the planet with creatures that demand respect, caution, and perhaps even submission in certain territories. This could foster a renewed sense of humility and a deeper appreciation for the raw power of nature. Religions might adapt their narratives, incorporating these new giants into creation stories or prophecies. The very existential questions we ask ourselves would shift. Are we truly at the top of the food chain, or merely another species in a much larger, more dangerous world? Consider the practicalities of sharing a planet with specific dinosaur types. A herd of Apatosaurus lumbering through a forest would flatten everything in its path, creating wide swaths of destruction. Their sheer size would make them difficult to deter, and their herbivorous diet would mean constant foraging, pushing them into conflict with human agriculture. Then there are the smaller, highly intelligent predators like Deinonychus or Utah raptor, capable of hunting in coordinated packs. These would be a constant, insidious threat, far more difficult to track and contain than a massive T-Rex. They could infiltrate urban areas, hunt livestock, and pose a significant danger to individuals or small groups. Pterosaurs, flying reptiles often associated with dinosaurs, would dominate the skies, their vast wingspans casting shadows over cities. While not dinosaurs themselves, their presence would add another layer of aerial threat and competition for resources, impacting air travel and communication infrastructure. Marine reptiles like Mosasaurus or Ichthyosaurs, if they also survived, would redefine oceanic travel and resource extraction, making the open seas incredibly treacherous. The long-term environmental consequences would also be immense. The sheer volume of waste produced by billions of tons of dinosaurs would drastically alter soil composition and nutrient cycles. Their respiration would impact atmospheric gas levels, though the exact nature of this impact would depend on their metabolism and global population. Their movements would reshape landforms, create new paths, and impact water flow. The survival of many modern species would hang in the balance as they either adapt to a dinosaur-dominated world, find new ecological niches, or face extinction due to competition or predation. The concept of conservation would take on a terrifying new meaning, focusing not just on protecting endangered species, but on managing the balance between ancient titans and modern life, potentially involving extensive culling programs for certain dinosaur populations to protect human interests or other species. Ultimately, a world where dinosaurs still lived would be a planet perpetually on edge, a vibrant and terrifying mosaic of ancient power and modern ingenuity. Humanity would not be erased, but it would be fundamentally altered, forged anew in the crucible of adaptation and coexistence. Our societies would become more resilient, more collaborative, and perhaps more respectful of the sheer power of the natural world. The advancements in science, technology, and defense would be driven by an unprecedented urgency, pushing the boundaries of human innovation. We would learn to live with a constant, visceral awareness of our place in the grand, ongoing story of life on Earth. A story no longer dominated solely by us, but shared with the awe-inspiring primeval majesty of the dinosaurs. It would be a world of breathtaking beauty and unimaginable peril, a true testament to the enduring power of evolution and the unyielding will to survive.